Hi guys, Tugu here with a new video, and this video will be, I'm going to try to not be negative. Is it worth to come back to retail after the 11.0.7 patch? And from what I've seen, I would say if you are crazy in love with retail and you feel like you have nothing else to do, it is worth it to come back. Now, on the other hand, if you are playing Path of Exile, if you are playing Classic like Refresh, or even if you're playing Season of Discovery, or if you're playing Cataclysm, or if you're playing any other game, I don't feel like it's that worth right now to come back. If you are looking for end of season rewards, it should be easier to get now since we are on the last stretch to season 1, and it will be season 2 very soon. Very soon, I mean, it still is 2 months from now, but let's be positive. You could get those rewards. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I already got the rewards that I feel like were important to me. The Glad mount, even though I would like to have it, it is just a mount from Shadowlands. Talking about PvP here. So it's not really good. It's not really cool either. It feels like it has been the worst mount since I can remember. So I'm not really excited about that. And the title, since I'm not going for rank 1, more like it's not I can do anyways, like as an in 3v3, my title will be gone anyways. Every single season it will be like vanished. So it's not like I can wear a Glad title. It needs to be a named one, so it's a rank 1. So that's not gonna happen. But also, I'm more of a solo shuffle guy. I don't find any partners for 3s anyways. It's not like I can't, it's just like I cannot really bother with it. And solo shuffle, the queue times still are way too long. Like I just played, like I logged on and couldn't find a match in 30 minutes and then decided to just go play Classic. That's just is how it started all. Like that's how I got to play Classic again, because basically the queue times were too long for me to stay inside of the game. And I know you're going to say, but play something else, do open world stuff, do mining, do your professions, go get some gold. But if I want to play PvP, I want to play PvP. I don't want to play mining or gold farming or PvE. I just want to like queue up, get into a game. Then you're going to say, but why aren't you playing a healer? Well, guess what? This season I played 80% of my matches as a healer. I just can't. I am not a healer. I don't like healing. I mean, I like healing, but it's like with very little doses. And the more I play healer, the more I detest it. Especially in solo shuffle, where doing draws really is annoying. Although the queue times are very fast, doing a draw is really annoying. Like it's draining. Like it's like in football or soccer for you guys in US. If you're drawing 1-1, it depends on how you see it. You either lost points or you saved your ass. It's not like a deserved 1-1, or it's not like a, oh damn, I'm actually happy about a draw. It's more like you're happy not losing points, or you're happy to you're disgusted because you lost points that you should have won, because you should have won 1-0 or 2-0, for example. That's for football analogy. It's the same. I like also whenever I played rugby back in the day. I'm not young anymore. I really detested draws. Like I really hate it. I prefer to lose quick and hard so I can learn, or I win quick and hard, or like a tight win or a tight loss. But like drawing is something like, I don't know. It's not as beneficial as you might think. Even though the queue times are fast, for example, for the solo shuffle. So I didn't like it. That's the reason. I started to play Classic because I don't want to play healer and I don't want to sit 30 minutes queues. And if I want to play healer, I can do it right now. And why not? I could technically become a healer main, but am I playing World of Warcraft to try to please other people to get queues? Or am I playing World of Warcraft because I want to do like big damage and being able to be satisfied about my gameplay and literally playing as if I am in a montage video? Because that was always something like whenever I was little, I was watching like Swiftly montage PvP videos. I was watching Vertner. I was watching World of Warcraft, Roguecraft. I was watching Warcraft movies, and as a healer, it's less interesting. That is how I see it, right? That's why healer content genuinely just does less views on YouTube, no matter what, no matter who. It could be Upstart, it could be CGU, it could be like anyone. You'll still have less views than someone that does a DPS video, and that's just is the human nature. People prefer to play DPS than a support. And that's why I think World of Warcraft should like lean towards that and maybe step away from having to need a healer and the trifecta like tank, healer, and DPS just doesn't work well in PvP in World of Warcraft, especially in PvP. And especially where you have such a big segment of DPS, you only have healers and tanks are like disregarded. If tanks were a bit more welcome, you would have less DPSers and you would have like a normal trifecta stat. That's why in Warhammer Online, if you're playing on a private server, finding a tank is not really hard. Finding a healer is not very hard. Finding a DPS is not hard. It seems like it's a 33% overall statistics. You have 33% healers, 33% DPSers, and 33% tanks. But imagine World of Warcraft having 33% healers. That is a gigantic amount of healers that you could have, but it's not the case. It's not the case. You have less than 20% for game modes that actually need 33% of healers to have functioning queues. So that is a main problem of World of Warcraft, and I get hate on it. I get people say that I have to quit the game, that I have to drop it, don't make content about it. Don't be like ranting about World of Warcraft. Oh, they just made a game. You either enjoy it or you leave it. No, that's not my mentality. I love World of Warcraft. I play World of Warcraft regardless on Classic or other types of expansions. I generally love World of Warcraft. I just don't like the direction retail goes. And I think a lot of people have the same idea. You understand that if rank 1s, if PvPers in general, right now on Twitch, I don't care if it's a content creator or not, if people drop retail to go play Classic hardcore of all classics, means that there is a lot of problems with PvP in general. If they could play PvP with getting the same numbers, the same motivation, the same envy, they would be playing PvP right now instead of hardcore. But guess what? People are more interested about hardcore, something that you don't have any difficulties. The difficulty is itself by how ballsy you can be, pretty much. If you're playing safe, you will be level 60, it doesn't matter. And it's no PvP. So they're like, they naturalize themselves from what they are good at. Just because right now the game mode PvP in retail is just not as popular as it was. And there are multiple reasons for it. Multiple of you think you do but you don't statements. Which I understand. Like for me, if I could have like directly my character at level 80, directly full geared and just PvP all day without queue times, I would take it in a heartbeat. But the truth is, most players play for gear, most players play for rewards, most players play for the journey. The issue is with retail, the journey and the gearing is kind of gone. It's really fast to gear up, it's very fast to level up, it's very fast to achieve what you want to achieve, and then you drop out because the rewards are not attainable by most players. And that should not be the case either. Like, Glad should never really be a 10% thing, because then it's not really Glad anymore. And I say that willingly knowing that most people are going to be mad about it. But that's why I suggest to give rewards also for people that are not Glad. So it means that Glad mount at it will not be called glad mount, but just a mount at 1.6k, for example, something that is attainable by everyone, especially with inflation. And you get like a Lego mount. So basically you have a mount. Every single time you level up, like you rank up, you can add a few things on top. The same as League of Legends, what they have is they have gold, which is normally attainable by everyone that has a bit of a serious field to improve. At gold, you get like a skin. For example, a Master Year skin, which is a victorious skin. You can look it up if you want to. A victorious skin. And that victorious skin has multiple colors. Interestingly, if you're going gold, you get the gold color. If you're platinum, you get the gold and platinum color. If you're going diamond, you get the diamond, platinum, and gold color, etc, etc. And every single time you're going to rank up, you will get a different skin. And League of Legends is a free game, so by itself you also have like a sort of, not really a battle pass, yeah, it's a battle pass, so you get free stuff, but you also get, what do you get? You get keys and chests, loot boxes, so you could open up, get new skins on it. And again, it's a free game, it's not an MMORPG, so the mentality of players are also different. They're not playing too much about the reward, because there is basically no rewards. For all I care, if there was no skin, I would be playing League of Legends anyways. That's like different. Their bragging rights is like getting better at the game, getting like ranking up, and people aspiring to be better. The bragging rights between a diamond player on League of Legends and a duelist player, which is kind of like, it's the same, right? Diamond 4, Diamond 3, I think it's 5%, 7% of the player base, something like that. Duelist is also like normally yeah, around the 5-7% of the player base. But someone that is duelist on like World of Warcraft gets kind of shit on. Like people they say they are skillless, which I find it kind of hilarious, because it's like 5% of the player base. If you are 5%, like if you're the top 5% of anything, you are like seen as a genius in general. If you're top 5% footballer, like a soccer player, footballer player, if you're a top 5% rugby player, if you're a top 5% chess player, you are regarded as someone that is very good. But for some reason in World of Warcraft, you're not really seen as someone very good. So the bragging rights are very different. It's like very top heavy for some reason. I think it's basically because there are no fresh players in the game. But like the top players, like Glad or whatever, they are like the summum, and the rest is like regarded as plebs, which feels kind of weird. And again, for me, a 1800 player, 2k player, 2.4k player, they can all be equal. It depends on like season, depends on when you got it. Like a 2.4k player at start of the season and 2.4k player at the end of the season is not the same, right? While in League of Legends, you have multiple explanations. They don't really inflate later ranks. It's only like the early ranks. That's something like known since ages. If you played League of Legends, you know that. Like if you're playing Diamond, you're not going to be suddenly master rank in a few weeks, or in a few months, or even a few full year. That's not gonna happen, except if you're getting better, obviously. But like a gold player, just by being like 50% win rate, you can basically climb out of gold, because it just inflates. And that's something everyone knows. In World of Warcraft, inflation is like no border. Everyone can be inflated. And the issue is like the rank ones want also to be 3k rated. While at one point it doesn't really like mean anything. Like it's inflation. If you get 3k at the start of the season or 3k at the end of the season, it's really different. And that's why the notions of ranks are very blurred, and I don't really like that. And they should change it. They should change their mentality as well. They should try to bring new players, but it's very hard, because how do you get new players on a game mode that is like it costs money? And I already said the solution: make PvP free to play. Make it on a different tournament server. You can play with people that are paying, and you can play with people that are free to play. Gear is easily acquirable, the same system as what we have right now. And what is the incentive for players to, like the Blizzard, to have free players? Well, battle passes, skins, whatever you can actually throw at them, they will buy it if they like the game. That's something that it happens for every single game. They have Overwatch in their own IP. You have even Marvel Rivals now that is rivaling our Overwatch, even overtaking Overwatch. You have Valorant, you have League of Legends. all free games and they thrive monetary wise. So it's kind of weird that it is truly only Blizzard, World of Warcraft, that wants us to pay every single month, which is not a problem for me because I have 2 accounts. But it is a problem for a lot of players that are new or wanting to try, and they have, for example, parents that are saying no to the money that they want to spend. You don't get like young players anymore. What do you need to do to get those young players? Make it free. Make it on the battle pass. Make it on the game pass from Xbox, and you will have a lot more players. And if it's not for PvE, if you're saying why only for PvP, why not PvE? You could also do for PvEers, but I think it's more fair for PvPers to have that because it's way easier to implement. You can have like a separate tournament realm that is also able to queue up with people from the real realms, and you would have more players. And even players that are paying are gladly paying. You know why? Because you have a battle pass, and if you want to unlock the battle pass, it is a subscription, or not a subscription, but you buy it. So basically everyone will be buying because they will want to have a battle pass. The same for Call of Duty. Everyone that plays Call of Duty has a battle pass somewhere, somehow, and they are like auto paying themselves. Like the more times you play, the more chances you have to get your battle pass for free next month. And you will be buying skins, you will be buying other things if you're enjoying the game. So I think they need to step to that direction. I don't know if people are listening towards the end of the video. They're going to again type furiously on the comments like, why are you still making a video about World of Warcraft although you hate it? Which I already responded on it. I don't hate the game. I just want to love the game, which is very hard whenever it is in that state. And now maybe a few comments on the on the class tuning. I think it's fine. I still think that they need a PTR for testing things. It feels like, why transfer 25% more on veneration, something that is not used in PvP, for example. It's maybe a PvE change, but even then, I don't know if it's you really use in PvE. Why consecrate 30%? Like, it doesn't really matter. I don't know, maybe PvE, but why flash shield 15%? Why not 20%? Why not 10%? Like, there is no explanation. There is no like goal. What is the goal to get like 15% increase on flash shield? What is the goal to have, for example, Oblivion having 25% increased damage on for affliction warlocks? What is the goal for perpetual stability? What is the goal for Siphon Life increasing corruption damage by even more? What is the goal, for example, in PvP? Like, those changes for Frost decay is kind of laughable because they have other problems. Do we really want to buff the hero tons instead of like the kit? Why did you nerf augmentation deep breath? Like, in my books, the augmentation evoker is not played in PvP, maybe in RPGs, but even then they are taking like 2 big nerfs here. Like, I don't know. Like, it feels like a bit random, and that's why I don't really like the balancing of World of Warcraft. Like, I want them to balance every single week or every single 2 weeks, but they need to give us explanations. They need to say, our Destruction Warlock has been underperforming since a few weeks. We have seen through numbers that Chaos Bot is not doing that much damage. On average, it does 1.8 million. We want it to be 2 million, for example. Something like that, like super simple. Talking about numbers, talking about, Chaos Bot, we have seen it does hit for less than we want. It hits for average 1.6 million if you have that much mastery, but our goal is to go towards this, for example. You see how clear of communication that is. That is the same for companies, same for real life. If you want to have things done for your child or to your child, or your child needs to do something or an assignment, you don't need to say, fake this or do this, but you also want to explain why. Because I have 2 children, right? I have 2 children. If I want for them to do something for me, I try to explain it so they understand and they are more likely to do it for me. Same for my wife, same for my friends. If I want to have something done or I want someone to help me, I try to explain why. Not really like, I augment the bills for, like, I reduce the bills for 20%. Or I don't know, we bought something extra on the car. Why? I'll give you the explanation. Like this needs an explanation to me. Like this is too random. Like again, I love destruction of Warlock, so I'm okay with that. But they nerf with a Hellcaller, which is the only valuable hero taunt. So they're buffing Warlocks, but also giga nerfing at the same time. So you see, it's really weird, and that's why it needs an explanation behind. But that's my opinion on the changes. I think changes are fine on in a vacuum, but we never know, right? Again, here, for example, that's a big buff for Discipline Priest. I don't know if they needed it, but they get a buff. Some things like this, like it's kind of weird. This is like normal. Those are normal buffs. Those I can already see. Okay, this is not normal. This is okay buffs to Restoration Shaman because I already know how bad it is. But like all of the changes are like a bit random, especially this one. I think this one is the most random change that you can actually have. But anyways, thank you for watching. Have a great day. If anyone is like surprised or like don't know what I'm doing, I'm playing classic these days right now. I'm kind of stepping away really quickly from retail until maybe season 2 where they change something. I don't know. We'll have to see. I take it like a vacation, a break, so I can love retail again. But right now I simply don't. So I'll wait it. I wait out the storm until it gets better. Like even WoW PvP in classic feels way more fun than just like PvP in general in retail, which is kind of sad. I'm not gonna say. Like I already said, like classic PvP is not like high tier to me, but it feels high tier, which is weird because in retail it should be high tier. It should feel high tier and it should be competitively high tier, but it is not the case right now. So thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.